Bells are ringing. Can you hear?
No, it's a religious experience.
No, probably they're ringing because we are with
We are
Captain Organic himself.
It's a god.
My friend Ross.
It's a god.
Ross Lovegrove.
Yeah,
I
people
know.
say to me, "Oh my God," you know. And I said,
Oh my God.
Go there. Go
We
there.
have Ross.
Jesus. Yeah. No.
No, really, I love Ross. I mean, we were very lucky to get in touch with him and to see him. Ross was born in Cardiff in Wales. You know, and for a boy who was born in Cardiff, he has gone a long way. He's gone a long way. He won all the prizes he could, probably. He has been working with all the companies he could. And he established the style in a way. You know, people really called him Captain Organic. And when you say, but Ross, what's your aim? You want to be minimalist? He doesn't say minimalist. He hates this definition. He loves the definition essentialist. That's what you think he is. So, talk to us about it.
I'll talk to you about that. It's not as boring or noioso as you imagine. Minimalism, the problem with minimalism, it's a word that describes a fashion, which means it can come in and it can disappear. Even Anish Kapoor said minimalism without meaning is just cheap, because it became an easy way for people to make things. You know, flat, dritto, quadrato. It's not about that. I'm just looking for the essence of things, yeah. And I don't think that's boring. If you look at kind of nature is the essence of something. It's essential, but it's not minimal. It's not reduced. It's actually maximum, yeah. And it's always this thing, you know, strangeness is a consequence of innovative thinking. There is no such thing as strangeness. You know, I can put an insect in your hand, and it's incredible. Don't say what I do is strange when you see things like that. I just don't think people are connected enough to possibility. You understand me? And it's people like us in the world of design that need to kind of open possibilities. I don't know, in a sense, it should be a kind of unlimited expression. What man thinks ultimately becomes a reality. Cars will fly, because after Fritz Lang, people expected cars to fly. It's just time, yeah? So there's an expectation. But
I mean, your cars that you hang on the, on the stick,
there's a company,
beautiful.
it's amazing, because, you know, I never knew if this would happen, but there's a company in Lille now in Belgium who wants to build it. So what you've got to do is you've got to show things. If you don't show things, people can't engage with you and nothing moves. So I work between two polarities. I work between dreams and realities, and I try and put some dream into the reality. You know, what you see here is not exactly a dream. It's work I do with the digital experience, the computer.
I mean, of course, your project couldn't be real without the help of the computer, and there's a similar experience that you have, that Zaha did, that is your friend has, or but even probably Anish Kapoor, that is your friend as well, right? But what's the balance between your intuition and the computer program itself? You know what I mean? Because sometimes it just escapes from our
No, there was a big change,
wheel.
Fabio. There was a really big change, because, you know, I'm not so old, but there's that thing where you grow up, you draw in a particular way, you have the razor, you scrape away. It was a long process, which meant it became very precious, because you're always worried if you make a mistake, you have to do it again, another week to make a drawing, and a much slower process. There was a beautiful side to that, where in the old days, the drawing, the sketch, was what you showed to the client, you know? Now today, the sketch is the valuable thing that you keep for yourself, yeah? And I still draw, but I draw for myself. And I never show that to the client, never. Because I show it to my people, I scan it, I redraw. And when I draw to explain things, I draw very different. I just don't care how I draw. When I draw for myself, I have a super organic way of thinking, yeah? So then it goes onto the computer. And what excites me is, like 10 years ago, I decided, screw the process. I'm going to reinvent my process. I'm going to go modern. I'm going to go today. So I got the people, I got the terminals, I got the whole thing. And from that came the bottiglia d'acqua, for example.
Yeah,
that came
definitely.
out of that. I did the first
I saw the
digitally
sketches.
generated. Yeah,
I saw the sketches.
yeah, but the sketches like we do, which is intuition.
It's a paint.
instinct. because you can't draw water. You look. You do.
I remember at the TED conference you showed first the sketches of Leonardo of the studies on water, and then the sketches of your battle.
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
Yeah, but I did an exercise recently. I was shown around the Leonardo da Vinci Archivo by Monsignor Buzzi, and at the end they said, "Here are some drawings," and they gave me some facsimiles of 3 of his drawings.
Wow.
Beautiful. And I went to the hotel and I spent the afternoon. I took a pencil from the reception and one of my very thin pens, and I wanted to draw on top of this what I do. I mean, just privately, yeah. Because it was saturated with amazing geometries and incredible little drawings, full, and also from the back, because it comes through the back, yeah. So I draw my solar tree, for example, and then I draw my car on a stick. So you cannot see they are there. I drew them in a way where they go into the work. But you know what I discovered? You cannot draw like Leonardo, because I draw very quickly, a geste. I don't do this, I do. And I think I'm good. Oh, no way. So you can draw a thing this big and it's perfect. It's genius. I realized that Leonardo was genius by trying to do a small exercise for myself in my hotel room. Yeah, not that you want to be like Leonardo, because it's an old time, but I like the idea that you make designs that you throw into the future that maybe are not about now, that maybe somebody else discovers and has the technology and the attitude to make. It's not about me. They might not be made in my generation, in my time.
But Ross, these the ingredients of this idea of future, don't you think that if everybody use the same ingredients, then things are gonna look a little bit alike? I mean, just a little provocation for you, but don't you think that sometimes Zaha stuff or Karim's stuff are a little bit overlapped with your work?
Well, let me pull that back. There's a misconception. There's a misconception because people just they think all the apples are the same, and they say it's a green one and a red one, but they're all apples. No, they're not. What I do, if you excuse me saying it, is very sophisticated. I'm like a sculptor of technology. I'm looking for my own sense of balance in the object. I love what Karim does, but Karim makes the spoon like the shoes, like the building. Yeah, I don't. And somebody said to me recently, an artist, a very famous artist, he said, "Look, I know you always wanted to work with the Listen gallery, but Kapoor is with the Listen gallery, and if you work with the Listen, you will make Anish look like a designer, because he has design in his work. He doesn't."
I totally think
agree?
so. I
Yeah?
totally think so. Totally.
Hearst has design. Bacon has design. Bacon was a designer, by the way, interior designer. So once you know the balance, it's got to be some balance in design. And I realized recently, not a good or a bad thing, but that design is expected. This is the market. Design is expected and art is unexpected. And what I try to do is put something unexpected into the design, otherwise you're dead. It's morte, you know.